For our next matchup of the week, we're going to head out to College Station, Texas, where the Missouri Tigers, the number 9 Missouri Tigers, come into town to take on the number 25 Texas A&M Aggies. This is a 12 p.m. kickoff on ABC/ESPN Plus. A&M currently favored in this one at Kyle Field by 2.5 points. You have to think the home field advantage plays a part in that one, Brad. I'll turn it over to you in a second, but these are two prominent programs that came to the SEC several years ago, and no one really expected much of them. They thought that, oh, these teams are weak. Next thing you know, you got Johnny Manziel beating Alabama, and then you've got Missouri making it to the SEC championship a while ago. But since then, they've struggled. Since then, they've not figured out. They have failed to figure out a way to get back to the promised land and start getting back on that 10 to 11 win season. This is a really big opportunity for both of these programs to get back into the conversation of being prominent programs. Brad, I'll turn it over to you. Who do you have winning this old-fashioned, what I would say, old-fashioned SEC matchup?
Yeah, Nate, so we were just talking off the air. It feels like these two teams are maybe still trying to figure things out and figure out their identity. And obviously, that would make sense when you're talking about A&M. Of course, they're under first-year head coach Mike Elko. They lose their opener to Notre Dame. And honestly, I was impressed with them going on the road and beating Florida. But A&M is definitely still trying to figure out their identity. Nate, I'm interested to get your thoughts in just a second, but I will say from a quarterback standpoint, I've been way more impressed with Marcel Reed than I was Connor Wigman, and I'm interested to see who gets the start. But I think my personal opinion, and I would love to hear, our Aggie fans' thoughts in the comments, who you guys think should be the quarterback. But I think Reed just has looked a little better. His ability to run the football is a big deal. But Nate, getting back to A&M, they did get a big win on the road to Florida, but their last two games, struggle with Bowling Green, struggle with Arkansas. So they're definitely trying to figure out their identity with Mike Elko. Mentioned Marcel Reed. Le'Veon Moss is a really, really good running back. I think they're going to continue to get him the football. Nate, a guy that stood out to me is their sophomore cornerback, Marcus Ratcliffe. Great size, 6'3", 210. And I'm going to tell you, you know about that Missouri wide receiving core. In my mind, one of the best trios in the country with Mookie Cooper, Theo Weiss Jr., and obviously Luther Burden. And transition to Missouri. Missouri's interesting because they came in with a lot of preseason hype, a lot of playoff aspirations, and look, everything's still in front of them. But their last two games, a 6-point win over Boston College, and of course that really, really great double overtime game against Vanderbilt. I think it has some people outside the Missouri fan base wondering, okay, is this team legit or not? Are they for real? Are they an SEC contender? Are they a playoff contender? I think those are fair questions, and I think, Nate, we're going to learn a lot about them. Brady Cook, up to this point, I won't say he's been disappointing, but maybe a little bit underwhelming. Just 4 touchdowns on the year, 946 yards. They definitely need him to play to that Brady Cook level. I mentioned the unbelievable receiving core. I think you're going to start to see those guys pop off. Nate, I get it. A&M's favored in this one because it's at Kyle Field. Kyle Field's a tough place to play, but this is an early kickoff. This is an 11 a.m. Central kickoff there. So people are going to be, still sitting in the parking lot enjoying their brunch tailgate. So I'm going to take the Tigers in this one. I think Missouri really, really starts to find their identity. I think you see Brady Cook and this receiving core have some big plays deep. I'm taking the Tigers by double digits in this one.
Yeah, Brad, you bring up a lot of great points. And you mentioned the quarterback battle at A&M, and I don't see how you put Connor Wegman back in there to answer your question. When you got a backup quarterback that comes in and is playing with confidence, he's playing with finesse, as I describe it. He's playing great. I mean, this A&M team is trying to figure it out. Missouri's trying to figure it out. These are two teams that have everything still in front of them because, look, A&M's one loss to Notre Dame is out of conference. So they've still got a chance in the SEC. And when you look at Missouri's schedule up ahead, they have probably one of the most favorable schedules in all of the SEC, in my opinion. They have everything in front of them. This is their moment. This is their chance to prove. And Look, they're being disrespected. They're the number 9 ranked team in the nation, and yet they're a 2.5 point underdog on the road to a top 25, number 25 team who really hasn't proven much. To your point, they struggle against Boston College, which Boston College in their own right is a decent program, and Bill O'Brien has done a phenomenal job stepping in there. Struggled against Bowling Green. That shouldn't be happening. No offense to the Bowling Green fans out there, but that shouldn't be happening at A&M. This is a team that takes great pride in dynamic dual threat quarterbacks. We think about the previous ones with Kellen Mond and Kyler Murray prior to transferring, Johnny Manziel. The list goes on and on and on. Even a guy like Ryan Tannehill back in the day. Shout out Ryan Tannehill playing wide receiver for Texas A&M. But yeah, I just I don't know. This one is really going to come down to who controls the line of scrimmage, and I think it goes towards Missouri. I'm going to have to take the Missouri Tigers in a close one on the road. It almost seems like this game is going to be a game where neither team wins it. Someone finds a way to lose it, and I think, unfortunately, it's going to be A&M this. And I say unfortunately, I think it's because you and I are both so high on Mike Elko as a coach, and we really think he's the right fit for the A&M Aggies. But for Saturday's matchup, I'm going to have to stick with my gut and go with the Missouri Tigers. They just seem to be better up front. They've got the better quarterback, even with everything that the quarterback at A&M has done. Brady Cook is cooking. Luther Burr, probably the most dynamic wide receiver in all of college football. I get it. They're going to talk about the two 17-year-olds at Ohio State and at Bama, but when you look at experience, when you look at guys that are hoping to go to the NFL draft, Luther Burden is 100% probably the number 1 receiver off the board. Give me the Missouri Tigers in a close one. I think Nick knows something here. These are two programs which, by the way, these two programs used to be rivals in the Big 12 Conference prior going over to the SEC. So both of these fan bases, they kind of have a bone to pick. And this matchup goes a long ways more than just an SEC matchup, but I think it kind of gives you that Midwest rivalry feel, old-fashioned classic that we're going to see on display come Saturday. But give me the Missouri Tigers in a close one. Let us know down in the comments who you think is going to come on top in College Station.